everybody, welcome to the try blah, 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 blah. You get it?
Oh my gosh. Why
Whoa.
are we yelling at them?
We have a big episode ahead of us. And I wonder, if you have finished a book, would you say that you've read it?
Oh,
Okay.
very
here
nice.
we go.
Oh, that's right. We're going to reddit.co.uk. Just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding.
This is
Do they have
What are you
reddit.co.uk?
doing?
I'm having fun.
What is
I
this
love
character?
It, man. I love what it is.
What
Whatever's
is this? I'm
happening
just
here.
trying to pump up the energy. Why are you negging me?
I like this.
Why is this your energy, Zach?
Yeah, Zach.
This is such a choice.
He said we're going to
I make
reddit.co/UK.
choices. If you don't make choices, you're a follower.
That's right.
Uh-oh, sheeple.
When you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and Zach.
Sheep. Why don't people baa when they call people sheep?
You're a sheeple, man.
That's like the taunt.
Yeah.
That should be the taunt.
I feel
That should be the
taunted.
taint. Am I right?
Whoa.
Hell yeah,
Dude,
brother.
What? Huh?
Hell yeah.
Okay, we're reading Reddit stories. Am I the assholes?
Am I the assholes?
Jane
Oh,
Top,
yes.
eat your heart out.
Would I be the asshole?
That's right.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
We love
Thanks for
you.
the format.
Yeah. Well, people have been doing this for 100 years.
True.
No.
100
But
years.
they perfected it.
No,
Ever
he's
since
the president of
1925.
Reddit.
And he's
Yeah,
sort of the
yeah.
president of Reddit.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Did they vote for
Actually,
him?
did you see that there's a British panel show that is taking Am I the Asshole, and they're doing it, and it's just like, guys, YouTube doing it better already. What are
Oh,
you
they're doing it
Oh,
on
on
like
Did they act it out?
TV?
Yeah, I think Jimmy Carr's hosting it.
Honestly, acting it out like
They're
like
not
a-
acting it out.
but they
They're just
should. Someone
doing-
should do like an Unsolved Mysteries reenactment of Am I the Assholes?
That's pretty good.
Wait, that is weird that they're doing. Yeah, that is just like this is an internet format.
Well, someone just was like, IP.
Yeah.
All right. Am I the asshole for reporting my friend to university after he cheated using my notes? Already, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If he cheated, am I the asshole? So they reported their friend.
He's a narc.
Unless this story ends with, I got in trouble because they accused me of plagiarizing him.
Of course. But I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been in the headline.
Well, no. So here's the thing: these headlines. This is how they write them on the
Misleading.
assholes. They always are. They make you go immediately. Yes, you're the asshole, and then they there's like some extraneous detail that's like my friend put a gun to my head.
Okay. Well, let's see if there's
Always
a
how
guy.
they
Am I the asshole for doing this thing? Also, he fucked my mom.
Yeah,
Whoa.
exactly.
Whoa. Okay. I, 22 male, am in med school and have this friend, let's call him Jake. We've studied together a few times and I shared my annotated notes with him before a big exam. I made them myself with diagrams, explanations, and even some mnemonics I came up with. That's cute. I
Very
never see the
cool.
word written. M-N-E-M-O-N.
Yeah, silent
Wow.
M.
Mnemonics.
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 Hey, and by the way, very proud of you for figuring that out.
Thanks.
And you did it quick.
Yeah. And I got scared.
I could see the
Time slowed
fear.
down for me.
It did.
I could see the fear flash across your face, but I just want you to know that you killed it.
Thanks. A few weeks later, one of our professors used one of my made-up mnemonics in a lecture crediting an anonymous student. I was confused. Turns out Jake had submitted my notes with his name on them to the
Whoa.
professor's student tips portal, where students can share study tips for extra credit. He didn't even mention me. I confronted him. He brushed it off and said, "It's just notes. Chill." So I reported to the Academic Honesty Office, since it technically falls under plagiarism.
No.
Now he's under investigation and might lose the extra credit. Or worse. Our mutual friends are calling me petty and are saying I could have just talked to him.
Yes.
Am I the asshole? It sounds like he did talk to him.
No, but by the way, yes. Sorry. He talked to him and he was like, it's just your notes. The solution to this is to be like, well, you can't use my notes anymore.
Yeah.
Not to be like,
Right.
yeah, guess what? You're expelled now.
Yeah.
You don't even have school anymore because
Right.
you're a cheater.
It doesn't seem like actually he didn't cheat, first of all. He just lied.
Yeah.
Cheating is like in a test, nice shirt.
Thanks, man.
What an unveiling.
Sorry, I like to unveil
You
a
tried to
shirt.
sneak that by.
I like to unveil a shirt every single time.
Zuck Mark Fuckerberg.
This is something I've been saying for a long time, and somebody gave me this shirt on tour.
That's a good
Really
shirt.
good.
Zuck Mark Fuckerberg.
That's funny.
Anyway,
really funny.
so I do think that this person is still an asshole. I mean, this is the same thing of like, I asked my neighbor to keep it down, and they said, okay, I'll keep it down. But they had a little toot about it, so I called the police.
Is this guy in the UK? Because what the hell is an Academic Honesty Office?
I went in front of, I think it's called the Honor Court
Are you the
Really?
asshole?
at UNC. Well, I went in front of the Honor Court because I was a senior and I went to my friend who was a sophomore who lived on campus. I lived off campus. He lived on campus and was like, we're going to have a party in my dorm. And I was like, that's funny. So like I brought beer and whatever. And we were in the dorm party. I'm like, how hilarious and iconic. We're seniors. We can drink off campus.
Right.
I was still 20. but I had a fake ID, and we went to the storm party, and then it got busted by the RAs, and me and my friend were like, "Oh, we don't go here," and they were like, "What?" And we were like, "No, we don't go here." So like, you can't do anything. And they were like, "Well, let me see your ID. I need to see." And I should have just not given my ID over,
should've
right?
said no.
I should have just walked away.
I don't
but
go
instead, I dumbly was like, "Well, ID says I'm over 21." So I gave them my ID, so I didn't get underage drinking cited. But they saw that I lied to an RA about not going to the school, so they called me in front of honor court. And then I had to go and I had to have a student representative. It was a whole thing.
Was it kind of like you were in Ally McBeal?
It would have been like that. It would have been sort of a fun, flirty thing.
Yeah.
But when I went, they were like, one of the penalties for this could be that you can't represent the school anymore, which meant that I couldn't perform. And I was like, maybe I drop out. I was like, maybe if this is the thing, I maybe drop out. Because all I'm doing is performing right now. And otherwise, school is not something I'm interested in.
Doesn't everybody represent the school?
Exactly.
True.
Isn't me taking a test, me doing a performance of my knowledge on paper?
Well, he's also in med school. So how do we feel about that after watching Grey's Anatomy?
Ooh, med school cheating.
It's a good.
Med school is cutthroat.
It is cutthroat, but but it's not. Everyone can graduate. It's not like you're competing for the same job.
Right, you're right.
Extra credit is like, what are we talking? Like an eighth of a point in your final grade.
Right.
This is not a thing.
It's going to move you up by like a decimal point.
Yeah, I think that this person just is a little pick-me boy and wanted the professor to think, "Ooh, I'm so special." You got jealous that your mnemonic went up on the board, but you know what? Your mnemonic's going to help other people. So in the end of the day, you did a good thing.
That's a good point.
Agreed.
And you know what?
Doesn't
Get your
matter.
head out your own butt. Stop smelling your own farts. Just stop sharing your notes in the future. And also, you can stop being friends with this person.
That's what I would suggest.
This person seems sort of like a dork.
They seem like a dork.
They took advantage of you, so guess what?
Yeah.
Cut that tie.
But
No
you
more
now
friends.
made
Burn
an
that
extra
bridge.
wrong.
Yeah.
And two wrongs don't.
Make a left. But I would say, that's 100% agree. I can't. Why would you? Reporting to the academic honor board is such a square thing to do.
Loser.
Yeah.
Loser
I mean,
status.
have you guys either ever cheated or been cheated on in terms of tests?
I
Cheated on.
openly I remember my junior year of high school, in this math class that like everybody around me was dumb or just didn't want to put in the effort, and I didn't care, and I let my paper be as visible as it possibly could, and I would almost tell those people, like, "Hey, if you want to sit near me, I am not going to cover my answers," because I felt whenever a teacher would, like, cover your answers, like, that's not my responsibility.
No, not at all.
No.
That's a good point.
It's not.
Yeah.
I don't need to defend my paper. It's on them to watch the class and
Agreed.
prevent something from going wrong. I'm not covering my answers.
No.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about any of this.
Like, I know I can get the answers right.
Yeah.
And if you can't stop someone else from cheating, that's on you, girl.
I'm trying to go roller skating after school. I'm not trying to like be worried about.
I'm
who's
not going to
cheating
get
off
all
me.
that fucking extra graphite on my arm covering my answers on my paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I maybe cheated once in like middle school or something.
Yeah.
And I looked at someone's answer and I was like,
I definitely
that's
cheated.
crazy. You know what I mean? But then I think
Yeah.
I also remember somebody being like, I don't know the answers. Can I like look at your?
Yeah.
And I would be like, you know, like I think I remember doing what Keith said.
So you're talking about cheating off of someone else's paper versus what I would do is like I literally had like
Wrote down the
little
answers?
bait. I didn't write down the answers, but I
tiny-
had like
the note
little
card.
tiny glossaries, and sometimes even just like that. It's the process of writing that out.
I think I did that on my hand once.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like in history, like, you know, this was the weird Roman emperor we're studying, or this is whatever.
But sometimes the process of writing it out then puts that
Yeah.
to memory,
Yeah.
and just having that thing with you, you then can do a mental note of like, okay, the answer is here on that paper, and then I see the visual of the paper in my mind's eye, and I
Yeah.
don't even have to look at it. But it's something about having it gives you like the power to know.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like as I'm talking, I'm realizing that the internet is such a different beast now.
Oh,
that if
yeah.
I was in school now, or like, all right, when my son is like in high school and he says something along the lines of like, well, I can just look it up online. I think I actually will take.
could just write my paper.
I think I actually will take the complete opposite
I
stance,
agree.
which is like, no, you need to have facts in your brain. That's the
Yeah.
only important thing is that you can consume and understand information because of the like AI-ification of everything. Whereas like when we were in kids, like, yeah, you could look stuff up, but the internet was much clunkier.
It was
Yeah.
challenging.
It was
You
challenging.
had to go to Ask Jeeves.
Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
a butler of information.
I was thinking about this the other day is that we were taught in school how to vet Google information.
Correct. And you're not taught that
it's
anymore.
Yeah, and I wonder if I hope that they're going to be taught the same for AI because so much of it is slop and incorrect and factual.
Oh yeah.
But it is like, that's to be able to like understand and dictate information. Honestly, it's like storytelling. Like to be able to like consume information and then give a report on like, okay, like this was, Julius Caesar and he had and whatever, just tell the story of Caesar. That's cool. I actually saw there was a TikTok clip of a teacher just talking about they were teaching the Hunger Games to their English class.
Whoa.
And they were talking about it in the confines of like a fascist dictator is doing this and like why would the people of District 13 not rise up? And the kids were like, because they're scared about whatever. And it like sparked this thing in me. I was like, man, school is fucking cool. Like if you have a good teacher that's able to like make that story something that is about the larger context.
Yeah,
very cool.
for sure.
And school is also just about being in a room with a bunch of people and figuring out how to navigate an 8-hour day
100%
with a bunch of people,
Yeah.
little interpersonal moments, frustrations. It's not really just about learning facts. It's about learning how to navigate a lot of strangers.
Yeah.
It's
and
not
friends.
the facts, it's what you do with them.
Right?
Yeah.
I watched. I've been watching a little bit of the new season of The Rehearsal, and it's great.
Holy
It's
shit.
amazing.
It's really good. I only watched the first episode, but
Oh, just you wait.
I'm
It's
so
crazy.
excited. I love it so much. But I saw Nathan Fielder was talking on a panel or something, and he was like, people say about my shows that they talk about how cringe it is, and how like they're watching it and they're like, I can't. It's like cringes me out too much. And he was sort of like. And I'm just like, have you lived like a regular day? It's hell. Like you guys, like conversations don't have a cut point. They just sort of end and we walk
Life
away.
isn't edited.
Life isn't edited. It's so uncomfortable and cringy to just exist. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like we're just doing that on film.
I was at your baby shower, and it was lovely, by the way. Shout out.
Thank you.
And I would think we were like chatting, and I was like chatting with Magali and some other people, and we all just kind of stopped talking, and then we all just like went and found another person to talk to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like
moved away.
it's kind of beautiful. We all kind of recognized like, well, we're done with things to talk about to each other. We were all just sitting and smiling, and then we're like,
Okay.
and it wasn't awkward. It
Done.
like should have been by maybe watching it in a third party would have been very like cringe or awkward, but like it was like okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna eat another one of these little pies. Yeah, I'm gonna eat these little pies. That's why came over here in the first place.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm done talking to you.
It was nice
Something
though.
my dad told me that changed my life was if you're hanging out if you're being social, you're going to have awkward moments. And so
Yes.
that has helped a lot of just like, yeah, that was awkward and let's move on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like you can keep
It's okay.
going.
Yeah, right.
Miles, can you read the next one?
I would be honored, Rainie. Thank you for nominating me. Did you text it to me? And yes, you did.
Yes.
5-6 for ZK. All right. Opening it up.
5-6 for ZK. That's
Zach.
mine.
Zach and Keith.
Zach and Keith. I didn't know Miles was coming.
Miles made it.
Would I be the asshole for telling my housemate to stop ordering DoorDash?
Oh, so he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like this proactive.
We're able to.
Would
Would I be the
Would I
asshole?
be?
Dude, this is revolutionary.
This is great.
WIBTA.
We can like minority report.
Yeah.
Change. We can stop this before it even happens.
This
Don't do it. You're the asshole.
he's putting his predicament in a jury of his peers.
Exactly. This is complicated, so bear with me. Okay, we're smart. I, 45 female, am a single mom, a full-time college student, and I own my home.
Whoa. 45, full-time mom and college student?
Yeah, single mom, full-time college student.
Damn, that's a lot of responsibility.
I know, truly. At the end of last year, a friend, 35 male, reached out to me because he was in dire straits. He'd been laid off from his job, tech industry, ran out of his severance package, and his unemployment was almost up. His lease on his apartment was up at the end of the year, and he wouldn't be able to afford to renew. So I offered to let him move into my office for $300 a month. Okay, let's go. To cover his utility usage while he tried to get back on his feet. I also said that he'd welcome to eat dinner with us anytime I cook, most nights, and anything else he wants to eat, I will get with the groceries if he Venmos me the cost. As soon as he moved in, he started door dashing and then got a part-time job delivering pizza. He still does not have a full-time job in the industry. In his industry, I feel like I made him a pretty solid offer. And ultimately the goal was for him to live with me cheap and save his money. Instead, I see where this is going. Instead of eating with the household and contributing to groceries, he's gotten into the habit of ordering DoorDash sometimes twice a day. He's spending significantly more on takeout for himself than I'm spending to feed the whole household. I know he's his own adult and I don't have the right to control how he spends his own money. But at the same time, I feel like I'm making sacrifices to provide him a home. And while I don't expect anything extra in return for that, I do feel like the premise of him being here is based on him saving money, which he's clearly not doing. So would I be the asshole if I told him to stop ordering takeout and eat from the kitchen instead? This is really interesting. My first impulse is like, you know that feeling when someone owes you like $200 and then you see them like doing something that's very expensive
buying
and frivolous?
Like three cocktails when you're out with each other. It's like,
and you're like, wait, you owe me money, right?
Yeah.
And I think that for some people, like, because I totally respect that someone's like, I don't have much money and like whatever. And then I think in their head, because I've also been that person that's like, I don't have any fucking money. You're just like, well, I need to eat. So like food is justifiable cost. But also DoorDash twice a day is actually insane if you're trying to save money. DoorDash is so expensive. It's fucking astronomically expensive. Buy rice and beans. You know what I mean? Sorry.
you know, when you try to be social, you'll find awkward moments.
And that was one of them.
That was one
me
of
going
them.
rice and beans. But that's how Quasi emphasizes rice.
I know.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
But I think that you would not be the asshole. I think what you need to say is, hey, let's come up with a plan for you to leave. Like, hey, I can help you get back on your feet. Let's help you save this amount of money.
Yeah.
And like, I can help you with that and skew it positive and be like, let's have a thing where instead, every time you're about to order DoorDash, instead, why don't we, like, you can make rice and beans, you can eat a PB&J, whatever. Take the money you would have spent on DoorDash and drop it into a savings account. And when that number gets to a certain amount of things, then you can get your own apartment.
Also, I'm pointing out, he's a part-time delivery driver for a pizza place.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he work for DoorDash?
I know. It seemed like he did, but he didn't.
He's capable of driving and delivering other people food.
Correct.
But he's not capable of going and picking up his own food. It is a crazy time of year. You know, I've got a toddler running around. We're shooting a ton of stuff. So time has been really difficult. We've also been traveling. So Becky and I have been not at home at the same time. And really, now that we are home together, we've sort of completely lost our focus on how to do meals. Luckily, we have Hungry Root. Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped into one. They take care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries and meals tailored to your tastes, nutrition preferences, and health goals. It's really simple. You use it to pick out some meals and it buys you the groceries for that meal. So you can make those meals or you can just use those groceries however you want. Most of Hungry Root's recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less. And with over 15,000 recipes shipped each week, there's something for every taste and nutrition preference. Becky and I really do love it. I love how it's sort of laid out, how the meals really are very quick to make, very easy. They're often like 3 or 4 ingredients. I love Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/tripod and use code TRIPOD. That's hungryroot.com/tripod, code TRIPOD to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/tripod, code TRIPOD. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Things the last few years have been tough. It seems like a lot of the world is changing, sometimes in a negative way. But one way that I think the world is really progressing is mental health awareness. I think lots of people are learning about this. More and more people are going to therapy. It's great. But there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say that they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It actually impacts the whole family, your friends, your workplaces, your entire communities. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break through the stigma. The world is a better place when people are healthy and happy. I really encourage you to do therapy. It's been beneficial for me, for everyone I know who's taken it. And BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/tripod to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/tripod.
I know, that was interesting.
Because like when you don't do the delivery,
You should order from DoorDash and be the DoorDash delivery.
Yeah, by the way, just pick it up.
just pick it up. Just go pick it up.
No, but then you get paid by DoorDash for delivering your own food.
But you also have to pay the fees.
Shit,
Jeez.
you're right.
And that probably is less than what you get made.
But to me, like delivery, I think there are a lot of people that are just incapable of cooking anything and they don't know how and they weren't taught.
I've started just driving and picking up food.
Of course.
Because I was like, you know what?
It's
It
just
is
so
$18 more to get this
It's
delivered
crazy, yeah.
before I even tip this person. This is a mile away.
I'm
I'm full dad. I'm like, I'm just gonna go get
I'm going to
it.
save the
I'm just gonna go get it.
18.
Yeah.
We're
Like,
obviously
it's so
assuming in this scenario that this guy has nothing that is preventing him from being able to do that, which based on the story,
Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like you're right. He doesn't have some sort of
Right,
like
he has a
problem that
delivery
he's-
job.
He has a delivery
so
job.
that's why I'm saying like,
he's
got
capable
a
to
car.
do
to
it.
me, this is you're diagnosing the symptom, not the disease.
Right.
Right? Like him spending on DoorDash. What you're not mad about the DoorDash.
No.
Right.
What you actually are like, you're trying to fix this guy.
Yeah, and he's not fixing himself as hard as you're fixing him.
And frankly,
Yeah.
by the way, maybe he shouldn't be your responsibility.
Yeah.
And maybe you gotta like look at what's in yourself that makes you feel like you need to fix this person.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, this dude's clearly not your responsibility. Maybe also your kindness is going too far in giving him this opportunity. So I think your core advice is correct of what you actually want to do is put down some ground rules. This should not be a forever thing.
Yeah, no.
And you want to create a path for him to get out. Like, there are a million ways for him to save money, and maybe he decides for whatever reason that DoorDash is where he wants to spend frivolously, and that can be okay.
I've got an option here. She's a bad cook. Like a real
Yeah.
bad cook.
Interesting.
Like
Yeah.
horrifically bad at cooking food.
That's interesting. You know what's funny though?
And her children scream at the dinner table the entire time.
Yeah, that's possible.
He's like, I can't do it. I'm just going to DoorDash and hide.
Yeah.
I was wondering also like something I do when I'm trying to budget or whatever. I've done this like for my entire life is like, okay, the only place I can spend money is the grocery store because it's like if you go to the grocery store, like groceries can be expensive for sure.
Yeah.
But at least you know that they're groceries and it's not like, sometimes I'll do the mental trick of being like, well, if I buy groceries and those are $20, I could just buy a $20 meal. And it's like, no, groceries are of course more like a more price conscious way to do this. So sometimes I'll just be like, all right, if I buy lunch at the grocery store and I go and buy ingredients and I keep those with me, whatever, that's the spend that is worth it.
Yeah.
I also just think like if I was a single mom and a full-time student and some guy was like mooching off of me, I would be like, hey, like you've got maybe 30 days more and let's come up with a plan for what you're going to do after. But
Yeah.
like definitely not. her
Going back to
stuff.
what you said though, Keith. Okay, so my mind goes like, dude, you're 35 and someone's offering you home cooked meals. That's sick as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But then I go, okay, but if it were my mom cooking,
Whoa.
yeah, I would not want to eat that every night. And
Oh, what does your mom do?
dang, dude.
What is she cooking?
Shots fired.
Zach said before his mom wasn't the best chef.
What are we talking like? Is it like boiled soups?
yeah, it's just
That is how you make soup.
doesn't
Roasted soup.
like if you're a working single mother and you're in school, how much time you really got to make this food delicious?
Right.
Yeah, it
And
might
so-
be like hamburger helper, which is like fine, but it's not. You wouldn't want it every night.
Unseasoned boiled chicken.
Oh,
Yeah, he also might not want to use your fridge or stove to cook his own stuff. So he's like, okay, well, I'm saving so much by living here. All I have to do is get DoorDash and it balances out. Like that's part of my rent.
I'm sure his
Yeah.
reasoning is
Yeah.
like, well, it's only $300 a month. He's certainly making more than that, even with a part-time delivery job.
yeah.
So he's like, I can actually afford to do this and still save. So I'm
Right.
going to do that. But she's like, you could save more if you didn't do that.
My mother-in-law is always into schemes and with money where
Love
she'll be
this.
like, today she's like, I had a coupon and I saved like $2.17. So then I took the $2.17 I saved and put it into another account. She's like, she thinks
fun.
about
she like
she's
makes
doing
it. She gamifies.
exactly. She gamifies it and makes it so she's like, today I saved this because it was money that she was gonna spend that she didn't. or
Uh
whatever.
huh.
And I think that's a nice way to do it.
The
as well.
original girl
yeah.
math.
Yeah.
The original girl math.
One thing that stood out to me is I'm wondering if you guys have ever experienced this kind of person, because I not to put the heat lamp on the woman writing,
Yeah.
but sometimes people are like, they'll be like really generous and have no boundaries, and then they'll be really stingent on like boundaries that don't really make sense, and that always kind of bugs me. Of like, well, yeah, you're sort of like, I'm such a good person in this way, and then you're grasping for control in ways that's like, okay, this is kind of overstepping.
What way do you think that she's overstepping?
I think that telling somebody how to spend their money.
Well, yeah, that's interesting though, because if I was helping someone out. If you were like, if Rainie, if you called me
Yeah.
and you were like, Miles, I don't have a place to go. And I'd be like, well, Rainie, that's no problem. Like, you can, of course, stay on me and Sarah's couch. Like, no problem. You come and stay on the couch.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just out of cash. I'm out of time. I'm out of everything. And then you sat on the couch and I saw that you had bought a new car.
I got a new Xbox 360.
And you were buying an Xbox. I would be
sure.
kind of like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you lied to me in a way. So I think that it's about the like.
You've misconstrued how desolate.
yes.
the
Look, we
situation
only
is.
see we only see the story, but I wonder if there's a little bit of hero complex,
Right.
and it's like, you know, you again, I'm sensing a little hint of like, I want to fix him, and turn him into someone he's not, and it's frankly at the end of the day, like, he's an adult dude, he's not a baby, he's got to figure this shit out for himself.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
Yeah.
He's 35. He could be president.
He could be president, actually.
He could be president.
Yeah.
He really could be.
And you're gonna try and fix his spending? That's for him to figure out.
Yeah. He's got a country to run.
He's got to run, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either or, but I personally think she can find a way to address this that is not assholey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the comments are, this is the top comment, it's pretty much what we said. So you would be the asshole for trying to control his behavior, but it's time that he pays full rent. Quote, hey friend, if you're going to be staying here longer, we need to sign a rental agreement. Rent will be X amount of dollars and utilities X amount of dollars. Otherwise, you need to be gone by date 2 weeks from now because I need rental income. Say this.
I guess that's the cleanest way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is to be like, and by the way, I agree with what you're saying, Rainie, where you were like, you don't want to hear it. If she was to be like, hey, I just really feel like the way you're spending your money. It's like she's saying that to Reddit. She shouldn't say that to him at all. Right. But it's like, probably the cleaner way is to just be like, hey, like the rent's going to be this if you're going to keep staying here, which we're happy to have you, but we just can't, whatever.
Yeah.
Like makes it clinical almost.
Yeah, exactly. And not bring up his spending habits.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, are you ready for your big moment in the sun?
Read
This
us.
is huge.
Read it to us.
My 25 male girlfriend, 23 female, is upset at something I did before we were officially together. How can we not let it ruin our relationship? This is interesting. So she found out about something that predates the dating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, it's complicated.
Here we
This
go.
one's gonna be complicated.
My girlfriend and I have a really great relationship. It's not what I heard.
Uh-oh.
Before the situation came out, our relationship was great. She repeatedly told me this was the best relationship she has had and how we communicate very well. I love just that idea of like, we're dating so good.
We're doing so good right now.
Crushing the goodness.
I love you. Wait, they're 25?
25 and 23.
Yeah. We're dating the best we've ever done. Isn't that great?
Ain't no one ever done it like us. We've been together officially about 9 months and been planning our 1-year anniversary.
No. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Before we were officially together, we were seeing each other and did this for 7 months before making it official. Okay.
Oh, so they've been like around each other for like over a year.
Okay.
For like a year and 3 months.
Good math. The reason it took so long is because when I commit, I commit. And I'm not going to commit until I know I can give it 200%. And she even says I am the best relationship she's had.
This guy is a milady.
What's a milady mean? Oh, milady.
Milady.
I commit 200%. She even says I'm the best relationship she's had.
She's ever had.
This is not a sentence.
No.
The issue she has, because during our seeing each other stage, I hooked up with someone in her inner circle.
Lit.
She
Whoa.
Wait, pause.
Whoa.
You say lit to
Get it.
when
Dangerous.
he was
They're
being
just
casual.
Absolutely. They weren't dating each other. It's her to say, if she wanted to not get in a relationship with him, then she didn't have to.
But
I
did
think
she
they're
not
casual.
know about this?
Oh, if she didn't know about it, that's different.
I think she didn't know about it.
Oh, then that's different.
She recently found out
Yeah.
because her friend told her, not out of guilt, but out of jealousy of our relationship.
Oh, that's wacky.
I can go on. I can go on in on.
He's not the best writer.
No. I can go on in on, but she's not a good person. Most of my girlfriend's friends are great people, but this woman showed her character.
That's a red flag for
That's
me. That he said that about
you
her.
You can't dog somebody if you. Yeah.
No.
Either way, this hurt my girlfriend when she found out. One, because it was her friend, and I can say I was wrong and take full accountability for that. The other part is the fact I was sleeping with others before we were official, but that was more of a miscommunication. She was under the impression that I wasn't sleeping with other people and just too busy to make it official. I had told her I don't want to commit until I can fully dedicate 200% and be the boyfriend she deserves. Just a misunderstanding and miscommunication.
Nope.
It sounds like you were purposefully not communicating so that she would not understand the situation that was true.
He's just like, no, I just I don't want to make it official yet.
We aren't at a risk of breaking up.
Well,
Oh,
But she's been distant and just want to take the initiative so she doesn't fester in our relationship.
wow, lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So much there.
well, it's pretty easy to say, yeah, this guy is the asshole. But let's find out how many ways.
Correct. There's sort of a lot of things going on here. The reason I initially responded to like, oh, he hooked up with her friend, that's fine. But he didn't say, it's crazy that he's like, well, she found out. You didn't tell her.
Yeah,
you didn't
that's
tell her.
Yeah, it means you had no intention of telling her.
Yes, which is crazy.
Means you knew
Yeah.
she would not like it.
Correct.
Which means you were being deceitful.
Correct. You hit.
Yeah.
You hit
Yeah.
it.
I have friends who are in casual relationships, but it's like when they have sex with other people, they have to tell them for safety. Like, are we using condom? Are we not using condom?
100%,
You know,
right.
like
Yeah.
you should be telling
Right.
her regardless of the situation.
I think any relationship of any, I know he's saying we weren't in a relationship, but you're having sex, you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a different level of relationship. It could be a casual relationship. If
Yeah.
you are dating someone for a long period of time and are not having clear communication about what you are and what you are not, that's a bad move.
You've been
I'm
fucking
down.
for 9 months and you've been fucking other people in those 9 months. They all should maybe know that.
100%.
Mhm.
And by the way, what do you think
For
is
safety, for kindness.
what do you think
Yes.
the limit is on? Because I'm like, okay, I'm putting my head in the mind of a 23-year-old. I hook up with somebody once. I'm not being like, I'm seeing other people. That's assumed.
No, I think like once your third date, you need to start
Third.
having the talk of
Right.
like, hey, just so you know, I'm not looking for anything. I wanted to see other people.
Correct.
I like having dinner and banging.
Yeah, that's
with
great.
you. And I also am currently having movies and banging with some other folk. Is that
yes,
okay
correct.
with you? Or would you like to not do our dinner and banging anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know why
exactly.
3 sounds right, but within those first 3 dates, I feel like you don't know anything to anybody. You're just
So I talked to, there was a situation where I talked to someone who was a younger person, and they said that on the first night that they met this girl or whatever, they're hanging out, and they like kissed them, and the person told me, he was like, and I made sure I was like, just so you know, like, I'm not really looking for anything serious. And she was like, yeah, we like met at a bar and kissed. You don't need to tell me that. And
But
it's like,
I don't know. I think it's like over explaining is better than under explaining.
I think that if you kiss someone at a bar in the wild, you don't need to disclose that you're not looking to get married to them
Yeah.
until
right
the-
in that moment.
Maybe the next day
Yeah.
when you're like, hey,
Correct.
I had a lot of fun last night.
Yeah.
Love
Just
to
so you
hang out
know,
again.
right.
But also,
Yes,
I was
correct.
kissing someone else at the bar before I kissed you.
Yes, exactly. I think it's right. More communication and information is good.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, third date, it gets brought up and it becomes clear.
second
Yeah.
date, great.
Second
Yeah,
date,
I'll take it.
maybe. It also just is whatever the situation. If somebody brings it up and they're like, hey, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
You disclose.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that if you're going to casually date, you have to deal with the repercussions of casually dating, which sometimes mean that some people will not want to date you
Yeah.
because they are looking for something more
Right.
serious.
And I have been in an experience where I think people don't disclose because they're like, I know you'll say no.
which is bullshit. That's
Yeah,
fucked up.
that's bad.
Yeah, you have to.
This
disclose.
guy being like, I'm not ready to commit until I commit 200%. Is like,
Lady.
yeah, you just, this is so, I don't know. Ugh.
Also, I think it's like I often I just despise when people. I understand that there are a lot of people in the world that have dated people that are fucking crazy, right? And then and my ex is crazy. So that happens sometimes. But it bothers me. I think when people are like, "Yeah, the girl I used to hook up with was crazy." She is nuts. She's a bad person.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
shows like a level of emotional insecurity.
Yeah.
Than just being
Yeah.
like, yeah, it didn't work out. Like we saw each other for a while, and trying to have grace about that is
Also, like, this one friend, she's a bad person. All of our other friends that I didn't hook up with are great.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
It was like, well, you have a specific relationship with this person, and maybe you were also hooking up with that girl more than once, so she has a right to be jealous of your relationship because she's probably thinking, like, this could have been me. We were hooking up the same amount of time, and they just chose this person over me, so I'm kind of pissed off about it.
Right.
So then she might behave a little bit meaner or short and that might convey to him like, she sucks. She's always being so short with me. He's like, well, yeah, maybe you let her on.
Yeah,
To dig into this friend a little more as well. So it's one thing to me if it's like for that 7 months, you're like, we were friends who like would hook up every now and then. And then I also hooked up with another friend in the friend group. Like that's college, man.
That's college, baby.
Right? But that's not what this was. This was you two were hooking up for 7 months.
Yeah.
I bet she thought you were dating, or at least she seemed like she wanted to date, and you were like, I'm not ready for that. And then you,
not ready.
in the middle of
200%
that,
is ready.
until in the middle of that, you were like, I'm also gonna fuck your friend secretly. Like that's a different thing.
That's so fucking stupid.
You're a scummy dude.
This 200% thing
I think it's
is
just
such an obvious red flag type thing. It's like, wait, you're not ready to commit until you've made some weird decision, and now you're like over the top in.
Yeah.
But you didn't disclose secrets. Doesn't sound like you're 200% in to me.
Right.
Well, but by the way, though, his 200%, she says, is the best relationship she's ever had.
Yuck.
That may be true. That may be true that it feels like a good relationship, but it's not 200%. First of all, it's not possible. But second of all, you were keeping secrets.
Not a real number.
That's not a committed relationship. You don't keep secrets.
Yeah, you're not having the hard conversations.
Yeah.
So you're not into 200%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Miles, I agree with what you're saying about all exes are not bad. But I do think that...
all of yours are, though.
yeah.
But
they are.
all of mine are bad.
No, but I do think that you see really quickly how people handle hard situations.
Yes.
And I think that like sometimes it's very disappointing because
Sure.
you're not just like,
100%.
oh, like we're going frisbee golfing and it was fun. It's like, oh yeah, this person, like I was vulnerable and this person didn't take care of me. And that sucks.
Totally.
Even though, and I think it also is tough because you're in a spot where like even like breaking up is not a fucked up thing to do.
No.
But it feels like it is. 'Cause
It does.
hurts so bad.
It hurts so bad
Yeah.
when you get your heart broken. Or it hurts so bad when someone is like, I don't like you in the same way you like me.
Yeah.
It can hurt so bad, but it isn't net, what's the word? It isn't net negative.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not
like,
evil.
It hurts to the person that gets broken up with, but hopefully with time, they'll be like, no, it wasn't the right fit. And I think that comes also with knowing that like I say this all the time, but the person that is the right person will like you back.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it hurts so bad to be broken up with, but they weren't the right person.
Right.
They, like you dating someone that doesn't like you is not good for either party.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is crazy. Also, I think sometimes I had a really good point and I lost it. Zach, hit it, baby.
Well, can I just say that if you want to see a good relationship, or really people making good relationship decisions, and really maybe like the three of us, might I suggest Keith plays a porn game.
Really
we
good.
navigate some really tricky conversations, and I think we navigate them beautifully. And we get
so,
laid.
too.
We get laid. So Keith Plays a Porn Game is our new exclusive second try series. We took a format that we did on this show. You may remember it. We did a whole season of it over on Second Try. We have a free trial that you can check out. We play the beautiful Hannah.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
A real estate agent. What did she do before?
No, she's getting evicted from her apartment.
That's right.
Because she can't pay her mortgage.
Because her ex-husband
she helped
bankrupted her, yeah.
her ex. I don't remember.
She goes into a she goes into a sultry nightclub world where the mysterious Darren Maxwell wants her to teach her lessons in seduction.
Yeah, it's
to help bring down his rival. Oh, let me tell you, we give people bobos.
Yeah.
we not only give people bobos, but we accomplish the end of the bobo.
Yeah. We are a peeping Tom at times.
At times we peep.
It's a really fun adventure. It's salacious, and I love how much the people who have been watching it are noting that whenever the actual like intimacy and sex happens, we freak out.
Yeah, we totally
It's all we want the whole show, and then we get so scared.
I'm so scared.
The show is so fucking funny. You're gonna have a blast. 2 episodes out for you to watch right now. Episode 3 drops on Saturday, and also phoning it in. New season started. Me and Miles in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
On the phone.
Hell yeah, man.
This one is a great season. Especially when you get to the Oops All Idiots at the end, which is the Second Try exclusive.
I'm so excited to see
It's
that.
so
You have
funny.
Kwesi and Jared in the
were
phone booth.
on our knees on the floor, dying during the judging specifically. The judging is out of control. But the
it's
whole
so
episode's
funny.
out of control. But wow, it's so funny.
I hope you do Solid again. That's such a funny twist on the format.
It was great. Back to this asshole. I think it actually is important for him to know that yes, in the situation, he was an asshole. he fucked up.
He did.
He's 25.
Yeah.
You're young.
Sure.
Take this as a learning experience. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's okay to make
Assholes
mistakes.
can grow.
It's okay to have been an asshole in a situation, especially if you didn't know better yet, because life comes at different people at different paces. Then not everybody's getting the same lessons all at the same times. I think it's important for you to sometimes recognize you were an asshole, but use that to make yourself be better. Not try to say that you actually weren't an asshole and try to double down that no, that was totally fine. No, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fuck up. I can think back on my own life. I've been an asshole for sure. And I've actually done a lot of I remember some of my previous dating things where I was an asshole. I tried to reach out to those people and say, hey, sorry, I was sort of a dick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that.
Right.
I've been waiting for that call from my exes.
Specifically, I had a prom date in high school. I really wanted us to be together. She said yes to be the prom date, but she didn't want to be her girlfriend. I was really bummed about that, and I was probably a jerk about it. And in fact, I was a jerk. Not just probably, I was.
Yeah.
And then I reached out later and be like, hey, I was rude of me. You didn't owe me anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, I think that's really nice, Keith. People make mistakes. And I was going to say...
Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
Everybody-
Two things. One, I have been an asshole before. I'm going to share a little story about how I was one.
Whoa.
In this exact...
Spill.
Because it's like, I can obviously give advice from an ivory tower as if I've never experienced it.
Dude, this is great. I've never been an asshole, so I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah, no, you're like
and in this
one of the
specific
good
way.
ones.
But also, this conversation reminds me of or his attitude reminds me of people are like, you can't make jokes about X anymore. Like you can't do that, right? Well, the reality is you just have to deal with the repercussions of those jokes.
Right.
And it's like you people being like, well, I can't casually date anymore. You can, but you have to deal with the repercussions of casually dating, which are that people get their feelings hurt sometimes. People will want things that you're not necessarily willing to give. And if you don't give them all the information, then you are going to be stuck with a guilty feeling because you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I was casually dating several people, right? I was hanging out. Everything was fine.
I have a question about that.
Please.
Okay, so were you, because I've been on the other side of this.
Please, Rainie.
And were you like, okay, Monday, this person? Like, how often were you hooking up with other people?
It depends on the year of college. But I would say probably more realistically, it would be like, let's say I hang out with someone, I see them at a party, whatever, we hang out, we go home together. And then like the following weekend, I'm hanging out with someone. I would say that there were times when when there were more time in between the people that I was dating, I was younger. And I think that if there were times and it was like, I go on a date with one person, then 2 nights later, I'm going on another one. I was very clear with everyone, hey, I'm just cash. Like by senior year, I feel that I was able to fully articulate and dictate to everyone, hey, I'm not looking for anyone serious. I am casually dating like other people. Because I was like, if I'm going to be the guy that does this, I have to be really, really honest about that. And some people were like, okay, well then doesn't work for me. And I was like, I totally understand. And like, I still think you're very cool and whatever. And it's sad that we can't keep seeing each other, whatever. But when I was a sophomore in college, I was not as good at this. And it's partially because I learned this lesson where I was casually dating someone. And then I was at a party and I was in the party and I had met this other person and we were kissing on the dance floor. And the person that I was casually dating walked in and saw us, was extremely hurt by this situation. And I like got coffee with her the next day and whatever. And she was like, it really hurt. I didn't know that you were seeing other people. And she was even like, it wasn't because you didn't say that. She was like, I guess, in your head, we were casual and it was, everyone was casual. And this is someone I was probably seeing for a couple weeks,
Okay, that's what I was wondering. And you're texting her.
This is my girlfriend of 9 years. No, it was like somebody that exactly.
You're texting her, you're hanging out like once a week.
You're right. But I think
3 weeks ago, you and she were making out on the dance floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in my brain in college, I was like, well, we've never said we were exclusive. And it was like a defensive position, which is the wrong position to have.
Yeah.
And I think in that conversation, I was like seeing that she was really hurt by this, even though I had quote unquote legally done nothing quote unquote wrong.
Yeah.
I still had hurt this person. And so I was like, oh, it doesn't matter if this were to go to trial, the jury would acquit me of my crime.
Yeah.
I've still hurt this person's feelings.
Right.
So it's you have to be totally forthcoming with your information.
Yeah.
But
you have to learn those lessons.
Yeah.
They have to be learned the hard way.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn, unfortunately.
Exactly right, man.
Yeah.
There's something on the other end of the spectrum that I was watching some show or movie, I can't remember, and they made a really good point of like somebody was like on their deathbed and their loved one like told them that they had cheated before because they wanted it off their chest.
No.
I was like, nope, that's your guilt.
Yes.
That's your problem.
Totally.
You're not allowed to get guilt off your chest.
On their
No.
deathbed.
Like, you
Oh
can't-
my God,
I
that's
remember-
so mean.
It was like, this is a fictional thing, but it made me think for real. It's like, no, you can't do that. Like if you've gone that long and haven't opened it up, you have to hold that guilt. That's your punishment.
Yeah.
The guilt,
Yeah.
the bad feeling you have, you're not allowed to get that off your chest.
No, that's yours.
That's your burden.
Yeah.
You did that. You waited too long.
Now that
You
there
need-
can be no repercussions, I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, it's like, I was like,
you're about to.
no,
I
dude,
embezzled the
you can't
company.
alleviate yourself of this guilt and stress. Like that's you deserve the punishment of carrying that and always knowing that you weren't honest. That needs to be your punishment.
Yeah.
To be an ethical slut, you have to disclose. Being an ethical slut is cool, but
Yeah.
you need to disclose
Gotta
to everyone that you are an
disclose.
ethical slut.
I would the
Ethical slut.
ethical
Good
slut
shirt.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We live in a time where prices are kind of going up like crazy. They're going up on everything. And so being smart with your money isn't just a good idea, it is essential. But managing all your subscriptions, tracking your spending, cutting costs, it can feel overwhelming. But Rocket Money has taken the guesswork out of it so you can easily make smart decisions. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You can see all your subscriptions in one place. I did this. I saw that Becky and I were both paying for the same thing. I canceled one of them. It was super easy. It really does put all of your different spendings, your bank accounts all in one place. You can put all your credit cards in there. It's basically a way to monitor all of your spending. It helps you categorize your spending as well, so you might see where you're spending things. They can also negotiate your bills for you. I had them do that on my internet bill. It worked. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/tripod today. That's rocketmoney.com/tripod, rocketmoney.com/tripod.
Yeah, that is crazy, the deathbed thing. Honestly, I think about that with guilt all the time. Or there's a BoJack Horseman scene where BoJack's like, I'm so sorry. And the person's like, I don't forgive you. And I'm gonna die, and I don't forgive you. And it's like, that is, it's not up to, people don't have to forgive you. They can be mad at you forever. It's up to you. If you feel guilty, that's kind of up to you to alleviate the burden on yourself.
Yeah. What's your guys' relationship with forgiveness? Because I'm pretty bad at it. I want to be better. I just don't know how to do it.
I can forgive people if they're legitimately sorry.
Yeah.
And they take many steps to prove
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Not just saying you're sorry, but like work hard.
Yeah.
If
I
like
agree.
you were going to like really want forgiveness, you have to work really hard and show that you're going to continually try through several no, I don't forgive yous to like find another way to make amends.
Yeah.
I think that most, if not all people can be forgiven, but they really have to actually deserve it. And that
Correct.
takes a lot of work. And not always are people going to be willing to do that work.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get forgiven because they're not going to actually be sorry.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with Keith completely. I feel that I'm pretty good with forgiveness. And I think it's only I don't know why. I was raised very Quaker and very like conflict resolution-y, and I think that's a
Right.
big part of it.
Because you say it. You do not let it fester.
No,
Yeah.
I'm out loud. If
Yeah.
somebody is
And I think
bothering
that
me,
helps with
if somebody is
forgiveness.
bothering me, I would say me and my friends, especially my male friends, have more like heart to heart, this hurt my feelings than I think most male friendships do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because it's like, if something's bothering me, I'm like, hey, like what happened here? Like, why are we at odds all of a sudden? And like, we have arguments, but I feel that the arguments beget a stronger friendship.
Yeah.
Not like I think a festering would be difficult for me. And I just think about like the people who make mistakes. Like I try to just empathize with their position and think about what's going on in their head. Like I had like an ex-girlfriend who just like really hurt my feelings. But then I was like, yeah, but we were both young and whatever. And it's like, I just was like, oh yeah, nobody did anything wrong. Everyone's just doing the best that they possibly can. Someone that not liking you back. It's like, they're not doing anything wrong. They're just doing the best that they possibly can. And that's
Don't like you back.
Yeah.
But yeah, forgiveness is important to move on.
So the comment on this is men really think sleeping with a close friend puts them in an amazing boyfriend tier.
That's funny.
Let's see. Wait, it's Zach's turn, right?
Zach just went.
You just went. Okay, so Keith's turn.
Dude, it's all Keith, man. Zach never said what his relationship with forgiveness was, but in a word, Zach.
In one word.
I can't do it in a word. It's okay.
No, I want to hear.
I'm a big conflict resolution person. So like when you get into a fight or like, and this actually drove Maggie crazy in the beginning of our relationship. Like,
By the way, I think what we were saying, we're the same.
it was like we would like get into like a little petty fight and then be like, okay, let's talk about this.
Yes, I'm the same
And
way.
she's like,
Sarah.
can we just be done with the fight? And I'm like, no, but we got to unpack it so that we can understand what we feel. But then I think about like the big ones.
Yeah.
Like I hold on to grudges.
Yeah.
And I actually think that that's something that maybe I could be better at.
Yeah.
And I recently had someone text me to apologize. Not the person that maybe, but someone who like, I'm like, you're one of my ops.
Yeah.
Oh.
You are.
Well, they didn't apologize.
That's
They
true.
texted perhaps to have a moment where they could apologize, but they didn't apologize.
Yeah.
Correct. They said, I would love to get coffee or dinner so that I can begin to make amends.
Oh, interesting.
And I haven't responded yet because one, I was just fucking busy and I don't have
Yeah.
time for your emotional baggage.
Yeah.
And I'm doing other shit. I got my life going on. But I was like, what do I do here? Because I don't want to give you the relief that you're looking for because that's my I don't want to do the emotional labor for you to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
But Keith was saying, you know, his perspective, which was essentially if someone actually makes a true, earnest, honest effort, then you let them.
Then I can find a path to forgiveness.
Yeah,
But you have to actually believe it.
Totally.
I feel like people perform it.
Yes. Oh, I hate that.
And so I've been like waiting. One, again, just because like I don't know you a response. I've got things going on. But two, I also like the people pleasing in me. I could see myself getting in that situation being like, dude, I get it. You know what? Don't even worry about it. Like, and then you just.
But you don't feel it. So then it's
Also, like, and this is maybe something I got to work on. Like, there's part of me that like Gollum with the ring, I enjoy that hatred just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in me that goes like,
It
nah,
fuels,
fuck you, you're the op, and I don't want to let that go.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, like, for you, what would it mean? Yeah, you're worried you're going to lose that fire.
I mean, no, I'm not, but like, I'm not worried about it, but there is just a little part of me that goes, I'm recognizing what is potentially a little bit of a toxic trait of mine, which is that sometimes having that hatred for someone feels good to a point where it's no longer even logical. Like I could see this person genuinely being sorry, genuinely making amends, and me being like, man, fuck that guy.
You know, I'm such an insane person. I feel that I might get in that situation and be like, well, I'm going to really I'm going to have them learn. Like through this experience, me sitting down and being like, you really did the wrong thing. And they'll think about that. And maybe that's like me being a complete narcissist. But I think that like
I don't want to fix this person though. I don't think they deserve to be fixed by
But
me.
maybe also also just sounds to me like you're not ready to forgive them regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Even if
sometimes
they
people,
changed.
you have to be ready.
You can be sorry
to move over,
and I
move
still
beyond
don't
something.
fucking care.
Yeah, exactly. You don't forgive them.
If you
right.
ran over my cat, you can't say oops.
Yeah, it's not ready. And by the way,
Not if you were looking me in the eyes and saying,
yeah.
watch your cat die. That would make, there's like, okay, that's pretty hard to get.
Yeah,
but if
yeah.
you accidentally run over the cat and your first response is defensiveness, like, I don't know who's there, I would be pissed. Because then you're
Yeah,
like,
this
we're
guy
not taking
meant to run over the
responsibility.
cat.
No,
you
you
meant to
didn't.
run over the cat.
He did. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
God, people are, the speculation's going crazy. I'm
sure.
sorry.
One thing I
It's
love
about
about
James
Zach
Charles.
is yeah.
But,
you spill the tea.
I think that like that you have no right, you are not no right. You have no responsibility to forgive this person, and you could say that. You could say like, "Hey, look, like I'm happy that you feel this way. Maybe I'll get there."
But then the gossipy bitch in me goes like, well, yeah, I got to go in person and I got to hear them out.
I'm
Well,
also
I'd be
I feel
curious,
that
yeah.
every time I've gotten into a situation like that, I go in and I'm like, fuck this person. And by the end of the conversation, I'm like, okay, you are just like a person and you're not this villain.
This is what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I don't want to,
I'm afraid of empathy.
it's like, because of what you did to me, I don't want to give you my empathy.
Yeah. No, and that's fair. I think that you're totally like it's reasonable that you feel that way. When I just did this like little tour or whatever, and part of the ending, I talk about 3 voicemails that I've left that were like important. And one of them is to my high school bully's parents. when I was in high school, and I tell this whole story, whatever. And as I'm telling the story, when I first did the dress rehearsal of it for my friends, I name him. I say his name.
You left a voicemail on
My high school bully's parents, because he was blackmailing a friend of mine and had hacked into her Facebook account, was threatening to like release her messages all over the school.
Oh my God.
So I had to call his parents in the middle of the night because I called him and told him to stop, and he like called me a pussy and hung up. So anyway, this story that I tell during the live tour, I named him during the dress rehearsal, and then I took it out because I was like, you know what? Like, me naming him is like sort of saying that this story still has power over me. Like that I need to be like, it's this guy and he's a doctor now, and this is, and like leaking more details. Like it sort of was this like
bullies should not become doctors. I don't like that.
They all do. Isn't that suck?
I don't like that.
Yeah. But it's
you
also
gotta
like,
get appendix out, you dork.
you dork.
Looks like you weren't taking care of yourself, you stupid dumbass.
Yeah. Whoa. But
Does it hurt when I push you?
but I tried to take it out because I stopped naming him, and I get a fake name from the audience for all the shows because I just was like, I think me naming him, it makes the story and this person still have this weight over me. Like I felt like, and then I was worried about doing it in my hometown. I'm like, I name him, people are going to know. And it's like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm like a 30-year-old man with a family. Like I need to let this go. Yeah. Like it can just be a anonymous story about a bully. It doesn't have to be like me naming my ops from high school, you know? Yeah.
But I also feel like anger is also, there's a place for it. Like,
there is.
I don't know. Like, I think
There
it's like
is.
okay if you're still mad at him. If he was blackmailing, like that's fucked up. You know,
it
like,
is. It is. And I am still mad at him.
Yeah.
But I don't need,
Because did he apologize?
no, never.
So then
never.
you
He's a
can-
total,
yeah. Yeah, there
it's
you
not
go.
going to matter in the grand scheme of things. If he is aware or becomes aware of the show.
Right.
All that could do is be more frustrating for me. I don't care about him.
Right.
But like for me to name it and then for like him to maybe feel like, oh yes, he said your name on stage. And like that idea, I was like, I don't need him to be a part of my life at all.
Right.
I hate this person. Like I hope he dies.
Yeah.
But I don't need for that to be.
So
Hey,
if
Miles.
this guy,
Yeah.
He will.
And he will. We all will.
We all will.
We all
So-
shall fall.
He will.
if this guy reached out and was like, hey man, I know we haven't talked in 20 years. I'm in LA.
Yeah.
I'd love to get coffee. I've been thinking about, reflecting on high school, and I would love to just
Oh, boy.
chat.
I don't know. I don't know that I would, because I think he was so villainous to so many people in my life that I think I might be like, only if I can record it.
Yeah, and also his
I think I should come on the
Come on my
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, come on
his
the podcast.
healing does nothing for you.
It doesn't. No, him
Yeah,
to
it's
be
the
like,
same as
I'm a
the
good
guilt.
guy now. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've thought about like, and I think there are a lot of people that they have these villains from their younger years that probably feel this way. And I think I'm just like, I don't know that I want to be around him at all. And I also don't know that I would believe it. I think he's a sociopath.
Sure.
So I'm like, him saying that, I would be like, oh, he's just looking to like, have you seen The Gift with Jason Bateman?
No.
It's a great movie. Mild spoilers for The Gift, but it's a Jason Bateman movie where him and his wife move back to Jason Bateman's hometown, and she's about to have a baby. And across the street, this guy knocks on the door, and the whole vibe is weird. And he's like, "Do you remember me from high school?" And Jason Bateman's like, "No, I don't really remember that." And then it is revealed that like Jason Bateman was this guy's bully. And they're like grown adults in their 40s.
Oh, wow.
And it's like it's a thriller. It's great. But it's just about this idea that like that feeling never really goes away.
Yeah.
Like it's such a formative year.
Right. Why would you record it?
Oh,
Just so
good
I can make it
content.
content.
Oh, to monetize.
Yeah, to
You're like,
monetize.
oh,
It's
just-
just-
okay.
That's
If
just
you-
delicious.
If you go through a hard talk, get some AdSense out of it.
Exactly right.
Should I invite my op onto the show? I just need to say also.
That, by the way, would be a great episode.
No, people. If you're like trying to guess in the comments who it is, you don't know.
You know, it's going to be too hard to
you
guess.
know.
It's gonna be too hard.
But it'd be.
But drop some guesses.
It's Miles.
You're talking about me.
Let's do one more. Am I the asshole for bringing food to my friend's party?
That's such a funny title.
Yeah.
So good.
Theme: the problem with non-confrontation.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got this friend I'll call Steve, who is a great friend, but not a great host in some aspects. He throws parties, which are fun and enjoyable, save for one problem that arises literally every time. There is never enough food.
Boo.
For example, he had a game night, and there were 10 people other than him and his wife there. He ordered 2 large pizzas and 1 small specialty pizza. So the party was fun. But after a couple hours, I was hungry again. / still. And overheard another couple talking about getting food on their way home. The next time there was a get-together, I offered to have me and my wife bring a dish. But he insisted he had the food covered. We show up, and again, there's only enough food for everyone to have 1 serving of the pasta he made. It really wasn't enough.
I've been there.
I don't think it's a matter of cheapness because the problem is only for food and not for drinks. He happily shares his extensive liquor cabinet and always buys plenty of beer and wine. He also always happily brings dishes for potlucks at other houses. For the next get together at his house, I pitched the idea of a potluck. Some other friends also signed on to the idea. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Then New Year's Eve, he hosted, and we ran out of snacks before midnight, and a couple people ended up dipping to go to another party. He seemed annoyed, but I don't think he made the connection. So finally last weekend he was hosting again, and rather than ask, I decided I would just bring a dish.
This was going to be my suggestion.
Yes.
He was visibly annoyed, but didn't say anything about it. He was just short and avoided me for most of the evening. The next day, he texted me saying it was rude to bring food to someone else's house like that.
What?
I apologized and said I was just trying to be helpful and reminded him about how food had run out at previous get-togethers, and I was just trying to help avoid that. He got mad and accused me of saying he's a bad host. I told him I don't think that was true at all, that his food estimation abilities just needed some work, and that leftovers aren't a bad thing. He didn't respond and hasn't responded to any of my messages since.
Oh, this guy's insane.
But they're both sort of insane.
Well, okay, my suggestion was gonna be just bring food next time and don't even make a thing about it. And just because like it is nice to bring food or bottled alcohol regardless, and you don't need to. And even if someone's like, I went to someone's house and they were like, they were plant-based, they're chefs, they grow their own food. They like,
whoa,
I know, it was fucking amazing.
Amazing.
They like insisted like, we got everything.
Yeah.
She fucking made us dessert, homemade dessert.
That's so
we
cool.
still brought something.
Yeah. Bottle of wine or something.
Bring something.
You know.
That's just
we
normal
yeah.
to bring
It's nice.
an offering.
Yeah, that's I think that like isn't that that's etiquette as you grow a little older? Is like you show up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only to your
that
closest
was-
friends when they say don't bring anything
Yeah.
because like I already have too much.
Right, exactly.
Like-
yeah.
So that was going to be my suggestion. This person did that, and this guy
It's
guy's
pissed.
weird, man.
is pissed. So I don't know what this dude's problem is.
I also, there's something funny about being like, he only ordered 2 large pizzas and a specialty pizza. And it's like, by the way, I empathize with that because me and Sarah have left dinner at friend's house and been like, I am fucking starving.
Yeah, of course.
These people are not
Yeah.
big eaters. They are like,
Yeah.
you go to someone's house and they're like, I made dinner. And it's like, a little thing of
Frisee.
chicken and a frisee. And me and Sarah are like, we're going to hit Taco Bell on the way home. We
Oh,
are
yeah.
so fucking hungry. And I've been there. What I would do in those situations is you just sort of be polite and then to eat before or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what I would do is actually not bring food to this guy's house. But once you're there, well, now there's a weird vibe though. Because now you can't bring up the food.
Yeah, you can't.
But I would be like, sorry guys, I'm so hungry. I'm extra hungry recently. It's just a me problem. If I ordered a pizza, would anyone else want some? I guess this may
I'm
be the
trying to
solution.
bulk up.
Yes.
I'm specifically trying to gain weight right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to order more food if that's all right.
Yeah.
This
I'm
person-
just like crazy hungry.
Yeah, this person
hungry.
pointing out over text of like, well, you've made this mistake before. That was a no-win situation.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that.
That was like, you're not gonna win this.
Yeah.
This person going, people left the party because there weren't enough pretzels in the bowl. Like,
It's
not,
New Year's Eve. Sometimes people just party hop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
it's not why people left
But
the party.
No.
You do have to order more than 2.5 pizzas for 10 people.
That is one, by the way, hosting thing that me and Sarah.
That's a 4 pizza minimum.
We always would host parties and people would come and
They're in the room.
That light did go off before. I think it's
Ghost. It's a
Uh,
ghost.
I look so spooky now.
is it unplugged?
We have like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's
so,
okay.
Yeah,
I'll just be spookier.
it's
So what did you
Keith's
do next?
a light
hair.
went out. It's a ghost.
What did you do next?
It's a goblin. What the hell? Oh, here it was. People would come over and be like, "Oh my god, your party was so fun. What is the thing?" And like me and Sarah were doing this, like when we lived in our old house, And they'd be like, oh my God, your parties are so fun. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'd love to host a party that was so fun. And we're like, yeah, we spend like hundreds of dollars on food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
of course it's
just
fun.
have an abundance.
We have so much food that
Yeah.
people are like, oh my God, I'm hungry. Like, and they leave. So it's like that. It really is the thing is like, you need to spend money on more food than you think you need if you want people to be full. Now, by the way, not everyone has to do that. You can have a party and just be like, sorry guys, we're all going to scrap together some pretzels. And I've had great parties that are that too. But
I've
I do
also
believe
been
in
like,
providing.
Hey, I'm throwing a party. Would
Yeah.
love if everybody could bring something.
Easy. By the way,
but this guy's got some weird
I know.
vendetta against.
He wants
I
to be
know.
the supreme host, but he, for some reason, is cheaping out on the food, or like he literally just doesn't think people eat much.
some people are not hungry
Feels like a
people.
control thing.
Like
It does feel like a joke because why would you care if somebody, especially if it's actually as a surprise? I think it's better
Yeah.
that he didn't say, "Can I bring something?" He said no. He'd said it previous time. He's like, "Hey," especially if you frame it as like, "I have found this new recipe and it's so amazing. I wanted to bring and offer it to you."
Yeah.
For the
It's
party.
also, it's not like this bitch is like, I have a perfectly crafted 3-course meal and you're
Right.
ruining the vibe.
Yeah.
You ordered pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Keith,
Yeah.
I don't know. You're an extra hungry guy like me.
Yeah.
You ever show up to a party and you look at the food table and you go, not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close to filling me up from the look of it.
Definitely, I've been like, okay, okay, we're gonna make do here.
Yeah.
But I think the move is if you're going to a person's house like that, you just assume that you're going to eat dinner and then hang out and have drinks.
Yeah.
Later on, you can be like, God, this is crazy. I'm hungry again. Should we order a pizza? I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, time has passed. It's not because you didn't provide enough food. It's because time has passed and
It
I'm
was such a
hungry
fun party.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
You know,
of
I'm
the
still
joys.
hungry. I'm hungry again.
One of the joys of hosting is that you get to party with leftovers. And you, as a host, are depriving yourself,
Yeah.
let alone your guests.
Breakfast pizza? Come on now.
Oh,
Come on now.
Come on now.
I've been eating pie for days since my baby shower.
oh, let's go.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've been living.
I hosted a very late Passover and I made brisket and I knew I made too much brisket.
Oh,
that was on purpose.
that's great.
That was for me to eat brisket.
Mhm,
I ate
hungry.
brisket the last couple of days.
It's brisket
It's been
o'clock,
delicious.
man. That's
Briscoe
delicious.
I
clock.
did that on
Frisky.
purpose.
Yeah. Well, we gave some advice to our Redditors, but for the Gen Pop, we have our Gen Pop King.
That.
It's advice that'll go for miles. Tune it to your radio station. It's advice that'll go for miles. Everyone get ready, Miles Nation. Miles Nation, go. It's advice that'll go for miles. Advice that'll go for miles.
What's up, Miles Nation? How's everybody doing tonight? Have you ever wanted to be organized?
Organized.
Have you ever wanted to have all your little stuffies out in front of you?
Stop it.
I have a piece of advice for you that is going to categorize your items
My
and
stuffies.
also. Oh.
Also, zip them up and be astonished.
Oh.
Whoa.
Get a lot of little zippies.
We're in the for the kids' toys.
For the kids'
we have
toys.
Zippies. Yes.
So big zippies, little zippies,
Uh-huh.
medium zippies.
Yep.
Like I said, I was traveling out recently. I bought like a 10-pack of little zippies that are like this big.
What
and
is
it's
a
like
zippy?
a
What is a
zippy. I'm glad you asked, Rainie.
A packing
A
cube
zippy
for
is
you.
almost a packing cube, Keith. Good try. A zippy is a little parcel. It's a little canvas thing that zippies.
Oh.
And I was putting
A
like,
bag.
okay, one zippy. Well, easy. It's a zippy. And it's not even a bag because this is two-dimensional.
Yeah,
A
they're
Oh.
flat.
This is flat.
This is
Oh,
like a permanent
interesting.
Ziploc made of a different material.
Exactly,
Huh.
made of canvas.
Okay, got it.
And it has a little window inside so you can peek. But I'd be like, okay,
Sounds a
zip-
lot like a packing cube.
Well, easy. A packing cube is bigger, I think.
a little.
A little, tiny bit bigger. It is a packing cube, but I'm talking about a
But
two-dimensional
flat.
zippy.
A packing folder.
Because a packing cube is what I was
Yeah.
looking for, but I didn't have one. So, but for little items, I'd be like, okay, toiletries in the zippy, cables of like any kind in the zippy, then in in my backpack.
This
So that
is a
way I'm on the
packing
plane, I'm just pulling out the zippy cables
this
and I'm
is
not
a-
having to pull out a million cables.
This is a packing
And
cube.
that's going in the front of the little thing. This is almost no easy. And so, but get a bunch of little zippies.
Like a bank envelope.
A bank
like
envelope.
The bank bags.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are
Exactly
that's a
that.
zippy.
Or if you buy a
It's a
Shure
zippy.
microphone, you can use sort of the zippy.
Hey, yeah, hell yeah, I've got those.
But I have tons of zippies, and it has made my life way easier to organize and categorize, especially when I'm traveling. That's been good. But also even just at home, I'm like, I have my daily backpack. I put all of the loose cables and craziness into a zippy, and then I'm like, great, I can just have that out. I don't have to rummage through all the
That-
cables.
I'm going to use that advice because
It's
I
good.
absolutely love to have a crazy bag with all the dongles, but then it's hard
Yes.
to get into my dongles and find the dongle I need. And I think if I had mini zippies, that would be a big solution for me. I will also say for the parents out there
Yeah.
that we got a lot of thicker plastic zippy type things, kind of in between zippies and packing
Yes.
cubes
Yes.
for a lot of Henry's toys so that they're like categorized because we keep them in our entertainment center. So like it's not really a childy like toy case, but they're drawers and there's things. And this way, like he knows where things go. He puts them back in the zippy. It also helps their fine motor skills to unzip and zip. But it's just better for us to not have a drawer full of random toys, but have a drawer full of bags of assorted toys.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, if he wants to play blocks, great. I'll grab this whole thing out. I'm not piece by piece grabbing 30 blocks out. I'm grabbing a bag of blocks, opening it, and when we're done, we put the blocks back in the bag, we put them back in the drawer. So it just helps that it feels like your house can spin out of control quickly with toys
Totally.
as a kid. So having these makes it feel less chaotic.
I'm gonna file save that one.
It's a big one. And it was Becky. Becky brought it. Thank you, Becky. Oh, Miles!
Sorry, I knocked my own glasses off.
I've
I've done that, and it is the most humiliating
So
thing that you could
humiliating.
ever do. To like smack your own face in a way that your glasses go flying.
Oh,
You
devastating.
will never feel like a bigger dork.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
That was great
Great
advice,
advice.
Keith. But unfortunately, you are in the dark, so we're gonna have to cut everything you said.
Dang.
Sorry, Keith.
Well, Keith, hit us with the official tripod theme song.
It's the spooky corner of the spooky time. It's the spooky way with the spooky rhyme. And the advice was good. Get yourself a little zippy and don't be an asshole. It's the tripod.
Have a good ass week.